Hey, how's it going? My friend Clem over there, he thinks you're kind of cute. He wanted to know if he could acquire your digits. What? No, it's a joke. Acquire your digits, like a phone number. There's no one there. Sure there is. There's Clam, my best friend. Am I the only one that can see Clam? Can you seriously not see Clam? Is Clam even real? And scene. That is a real life enactment of how cold approaching works. You know what would alter the result of that interaction? If eye contact prior, her acknowledging you and showing an interest by looking over every now and then, so that you get a huge head start in your confidence when you eventually go over an approach. But how? Maybe you've been improving for a good amount of time. Maybe you have a nice physique and a pretty attractive face. Not hitting on you. Maybe I am. You still don't get noticed by any of the girls that you see in your life. I want to make it clear this video will be specific to why girls don't acknowledge you, meaning we'll be focusing on the exterior sort of presentation of yourself, as opposed to the personality, authenticity and other attractive aspects that are only noticeable through first engaging in a conversation and taking it further. The initial outside attraction is typically what gets the ball rolling. I've split every single feature that women consciously look for and subconsciously scout out into 3 different sections: social vibrance, your thumbnail, and primal trait scouting. There will also be subpoints within these sections. Consider subscribing if you end up finding value in this video. I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at the exact same time, and make it my priority to pack as much value as I can in the form of 3 different videos at least a week. So if this is the kind of content that you like to be consuming, you know what to do. With the intro and cheeky call to actions successfully completed, section 1. Social vibrance is something that has popped up in the previous 2 videos of mine as well as this one. I will reinforce this to the ends of the universe if I have to. One of the most attractive things to any human, but especially women, is a person with a vibrant social life. So we'll start with social acceptance. Put yourself into the shoes of a girl for a moment. You walk down the street and you see 2 different guys who are very similar in levels of attractiveness. One is walking alone with maybe his headphones on his head, and the other is walking in a group. The guy in the group is telling jokes and laughing with his companions. He's got a lot of visible, comfortable physical touch going on. It's in the form of maybe like a back pat or like a little nudge. Actually being a little bit too loud compared to everyone else on the street, because he's kind of in like a social flow state right now. What guy would you not only notice first, but also be way more curious about in the moment? The answer seems obvious, but really think about this. The guy in the group is making it very clear that he is socially accepted to some extent. Not only is it clear to the girl that for some reason people really enjoy being around this guy due to the loud laughter and sort of communicative state that everyone's in, but it's also clear that people feel really comfortable making regular physical touch with this guy after every funny joke or whatever. Do you see how this guy is going to have such a longer lasting impact on this girl's mind, as opposed to the other guy who you've already forgotten about? People validate other people when they see them getting attention almost automatically. The next subpoint reinforces this notion even more: social diversity. Imagine this same guy that we already have in our heads right now. On taking a look at the kind of people that are surrounding and entertaining this man, we see that he has a mixture of both other men and women in his circle. A lot of guys tend to think that having a lot of woman friends is like a turn off or like a red flag for most girls, and honestly, consciously for most girls it is. Beneath that layer of TikTok brain and the world of red flags, you'll see that when a girl notices that other women are accepting and choosing to be around a man, it's almost like their caveman, or I should say cave woman brain, thinking there's a reason why women want to be around this guy, and so me being a woman myself, I should want to be too. There's something so reassuring for a woman when she perceives a man making other women feel comfortable and giving them a reason to be around him. On top of that, there's something so reassuring for humans in general to see any other human be so socially accepted and have such a diverse group of people accepting them and around them. The last subpoint within this section is an exciting lifestyle. Probably the biggest thing that self-improvement space has lacked for so long is influencing young men to have a more exciting lifestyle. Rejecting degeneracy and forging yourself into a man capable of becoming successful is obviously still awesome. However, if you watched my previous video about masculinity, if you didn't, very good video, I think you should watch it. Another little cheeky call to action that I've just done there, just sort of slipped it in. Wasn't even in the script, honestly. If you do this in a sort of monk mode-esque way for long periods of time, you end up not only socially disabling yourself, but also appearing very boring to other people. You have to think about it this way. When you ask a girl, or anybody for this matter, for a date, to hang out for just a little bit of their time and presence, you're inviting them into your life. You're asking them to be a part of your life for a short period of time, for a long period of time. However long the invite is, you're still inviting them to be a part of your life. Would you want to join your life? Genuinely, with the kind of lifestyle that you currently have, just ask yourself, would I want to be a part of my life? Would you want to join the life of somebody incredibly boring? Especially if you digest this question in the shoes of a woman, living in a world where women of all kinds of value have so many options and can be so picky with the type of men that they entertain. Pursuing a more exciting life is a lifestyle trait that you will have no issue trying to demonstrate when you're out in public, because you'll just naturally be more accepted by everyone. You'll find yourself, without meaning to, just ending up in those scenarios of that guy that we described, who's in that group, who's got the diverse amount of people around him who are validating him and accepting him. You'll just find yourself in those situations if you pursue a more exciting life. This will show and will grab the attention of not only friends, but more importantly, potential romantic partners. In other words, women. So how do you do this? I'll be making a full-length guide on this in very specific detail in the future, so if that's something that you'd look forward to, stick around by pressing the red button, and you know which red button I'm talking about. But for now, I'll just simply say, get out more. Speak to more people in the gym and offer yourself to those people in the form of a phone number, following on Instagram, some sort of further communication after that one interaction. If you're not going to see them again, if you know they don't go to the gym regularly, make friends and then plan to do things. You be the leader in this scenario, the kind of guy who just does fun shit randomly and invites a bunch of people. Easier said than done, but realistically this is the only way that you break out of that monk mole-esque sort of lifestyle. Your thumbnail, whether you're the guy walking alone with his headphones in, or the socially vibrant guy walking with a diverse group of people, demonstrating your exciting life, one thing plays a huge part in being noticed with either of those two people, and that is their thumbnail. I think your thumbnail is a good way to describe this section, because it talks about your entire external attractiveness and presentation. With a YouTube video, you can have a video that is filled with an impeccable amount of value, so much information, and is the best video on the entire planet. However, if the video has a horrendous title and thumbnail, how is anybody going to know about the value inside? Your thumbnail is the external property that teases all of the goodness on the inside. The first sub-point that we'll be talking about is looks. This is very obvious, but the more attractive you are, the more likely you'll be noticed. The issue with the funny, likable guy who's surrounded by a bunch of people who validate him and give him status and enjoy being around him is that he lacks physical attraction. He is immediately put into the friend zone. Women still want to be around him, and that whole psychology process of the female brain still takes place, but they aren't attracted to him romantically or sexually. They just want to be around him because he's an exciting, lovable guy to be around. In other words, a good friend. Contrastingly, the guy who has that very vibrant life, but is also very conventionally attractive, achieves that romantic attraction from the woman the minute she sees him. The woman doesn't just see that he's socially accepted and fun to be around as a friend. She sees that and notices that he is very attractive at the same time, which turns that fun to be around as a potential friend into fun to be around as a potential partner. The reason I'm making this a point is because I want to spread the truth about physical attraction. The truth is, physical attraction is not all genetic. Everybody knows that the single best way of improving your physical attraction is through building a nice aesthetic body, but along with that, facial aesthetics and things like improved facial structure are also very possible too. A lot of young men just believe that their facial aesthetics is 100% genetic and kind of just give up or lose hope and don't try and change in any way. I'm here to tell you that it is possible naturally, you know, without surgery. I'll also be making a full guide on that eventually, so stick around for that. 3 call to actions in one video. That is pretty insane. Look into looks maxing and begin your journey towards improved facial and body aesthetics. The second sub point is going to be presentation. Clothing, your walk, your posture, how tidy you are. All of these things play a significant role in your overall thumbnail. We'll start by talking about the importance of your walk and posture. This will only really matter when you're on your own, but having a confident walk with straight back and good posture will add to that overall attraction. Good posture not only demonstrates better health and self-care, but it can also make you appear taller, which is always a good thing. And of course, the confident walk will just demonstrate confidence. These two things won't matter as much when you're in a group, if you're, you know, laughing and joking or whatever. But what will matter here are things like the kind of clothes that you wear and how tidy you look. Your clothing style can be whatever you want it to be, but what I will say is the more classy women prefer a man who also presents himself in a more classy way. You want to choose a style that you like best and learn the skill of dressing nice. Along with this, you really want to prioritize keeping yourself tidy. Once again, in my previous video when I spoke about how to be masculine without being cringe and repulsive, I said that one of the best parts about the more feminine modern man is that he takes care of himself more, prioritizes his hygiene. Tidiness demonstrates self-care very well. What will really reinforce this aspect is if you surround yourself with people who also know how to dress well and who also, you know, prioritize keeping themselves tidy. Imagine the long-lasting impact you would have on a girl when she walks past and sees that you're not only attractive, dressed nicely and presenting tidy, but you also appear to be socially accepted and validated by other people who are attractive, dressed nicely and keeping themselves tidy too. Sounds like a pretty knowledgeable guy to me. I would definitely stop and stare, not in a homosexual way though. Just want to make that clear. Most of what I've spoken about so far are conscious sort of thoughts and psychology when it comes to girls noticing a guy. But now we're going to move into the more primal, subconscious aspects that women look for and pick up on. Starting strong with what do women subconsciously scout for? I'll start by explaining what men subconsciously scout for. A big part of why men find certain physical traits of a woman attractive is because these traits are usually linked to signs of fertility and health. The so-called hourglass shape on a woman is very primarily attractive to us men, largely because that shape demonstrates better fertility. The wider hips contrasting the more narrow waist is a sign to us that this woman would be better at bearing children. And I'm guessing that bigger breasts would be a sign of something like better breastfeeding ability. However, I'm not 100% on that one, so don't quote me. I've just kind of used my brain to link 2 and 2 together, but it could be wrong. Same thing with why clear skin is very attractive to us humans, because it demonstrates better health. So what are the kind of traits that women subconsciously look for in us men? Women also look for traits that signify health for obvious reasons, but they also scout for what would probably be known as like alpha traits, you know, the physical strength, the dominance, what would make a guy look like he would be a good leader. This is because they want to feel safe, secure, comfortable, and like they could be protected. So what are those specific physical traits? The first physical trait that women are subconsciously drawn to is height. The reason women like men who are so much taller than them is because in the very simple monkey-like side of the brain, taller equals more physical dominance and ability to protect. It makes women feel safe when their man is significantly taller than them. The second trait that women look for are muscles, more specifically that V-like shape that you get when you sort of grow your side delts and muscle groups like your lats, and then you have a more narrow waist. It creates that sort of Dorito look. I'm gonna draw it for you because I can, because this is my video and I can. Ignore the fact that this looks more like that mutated Joker from Arkham Asylum. That has to be the worst drawing that has happened on YouTube history, on any history actually. I think that's probably masterpiece. Anyway, I won't show you again because I'm embarrassed now. Sure, I'm embarrassed, whatever. I'll admit it, I'm a little bit embarrassed. But you saw that there's that V shape, the V taper, that women are very primarily attracted to. The reason why this is so primarily attractive to women is because it signifies discipline, strength, and once again health, but once again, more importantly, the ability to protect and be a leader. The third trait women scout for is a more masculine bone structure. I spoke briefly about looks maxing, but women are very primarily attracted to that sort of more masculine skull structure. I'll throw some pics up as I speak, but you can see that the jaw portion of the face is a lot more wide, the very good jawline visibility and more of a chin projection. The overall size of the skull is a lot bigger than a female skull or a more feminine male skull. There's a deeper brow ridge with a sort of more rectangular shaped eye crevice in the skull, which creates that hunter eye look, and they're just far more visually dominant features. Not an expert in this area, so I may not have gotten it 100% perfect, but nonetheless, the fourth trait that women primarily look for is going to be things like clear skin and straight white teeth. These two traits obviously signal health. With all that being said, I don't want anyone to leave this video feeling anything other than hope and motivation. When it comes to maxing out your appearance stats, it's impossible to be perfect, and I promise with a positive mentality towards improving your physical looks, you will get such better results. The importance of belief and mindset plays a role in absolutely everything. There's so many studies to prove this, where they've had two people either, you know, drink the same thing or do the same thing, but they've told them they've given them different beliefs on it and they've seen different results. That's an entire another thing, but it's just to sort of enforce that statement that belief is very, very important and belief works. So don't leave this video feeling unmotivated and hopeless because you don't possess all of the attractive traits. Most of them are achievable with hard work and a healthy mentality. Alright, there we have it. My first sort of mini guide to bless the channel. Plan to make even more long form and more in-depth guides in the future. So if you'd be interested in those, as well as the more medium 12-minute sort of videos, chuck me a cheeky little subscribe. I'd love to hear some feedback in the comments, seeing as I'm only a teeny tiny little YouTuber right now. So any advice, correcting if I, you know, got something wrong, or just your own thoughts on anything in this video are very appreciated. Once again, leave this video with a positive mentality, motivation, and sort of excitement when it comes to choosing to play this game of maxing your stats and maxing your appearance. Send this video to your family group chat just for the bands. Adios, señors.